we're gonna try this again. We are having some technical difficulties, but hopefully we can have Shonda join us in a moment or two. So I'm gonna go ahead and try. There we go. Let's see if we can. Let's see. Keep saying adding. So we're getting close. We're getting close. There she goes. Yay. Make it happen.
I think I just
Took
had
us a couple minutes, but we got it.
I think I just had too many things open on my phone.
Yeah.
I know my Facebook app wasn't updating because I was literally sitting.
Yeah, it wasn't popping up, but we got you. Hey. Kind of heard you. You sounded like no. You kind of froze a little bit, so I was just like, oh, it's okay. I'm just happy you're here. I, I have my drink of choice as of right now, since the mayor. No, it's okay. I felt, since the mayor is shutting down the daiquiri shop at 6 a.m., I should probably partake in one last one before it's too late. So why not? Thank you. You can tell me later. I know you will, because you always do.
Look at this face. I would never.
But
I would never.
yeah, and then say, love you. So, would you like to introduce yourself to the people who don't?
Yeah, sure. Hey guys. My name is Shonda. I'm a personal trainer, as well as a dance fitness instructor and choreographer. So, I am the owner of Domingo Training, which is my fitness lifestyle company, and I'm the co-owner of Schooling Talent, which is a artist development talent company. So yeah, so basically, I work with people in the who want to get healthy and people who want to establish themselves in the entertainment industry. I do conditioning on both sides. One is just a little bit more creative than the other, but essentially the same thing, helping people take their lives to the next level.
So don't mind me. I have a dog in my lap. He refuses to not be here and be present.
Its door is closed because if it was open, you would hear both of my twins.
See, the problem with my dog is if I shut him out, he runs into the door and to let him in. So just to make sure that that's not an issue, I just let him have his way. So story of my life.
I get it. I got two dogs too, so
It's something. Um, I guess let's kind of just jump on into it. With the
yeah, let's do it. I'm here for it.
is why would fitness be important to our sex lives?
Well, for starters, for the obvious reasons, right? Fitness can be super important to your sex life. Number one, on a conditioning standpoint, right? Like stamina, especially if you're doing cardio. I mean, depending on how adventurous, right?
Mm-hmm.
And risky you're getting, sex is cardio, you know. Sex burns calories. It's like getting your depending on like I said, how adventurous and risky you're getting, um, you that's getting your cardio in for the day,
It's funny you mentioned calories. I actually Googled that and it said you burn 3.6 calories per minute. So
Mm-hmm.
you keep going at it, you get your dailies.
No, it's like a nice little brisk walk in the park. Keyword being brisk.
Risk.
Okay. Um, yeah, so I mean that's the obvious reasons, right? Physical fitness is also it's really cool to kind of be physically fit because you're also in this mind frame of like you're taking care of yourself. When you're working out, you know, you're releasing endorphins, which help kind of boost your confidence, boost your energy. And if you're, you know, working out daily or even 3 times a week, you're feeling good about yourself because you're doing something good for yourself, you know, and that energy and that mind, yeah, that energy and that mindset travels into the bedroom, you know. You're performing well because you're more confident about how you look naked, right? And you're performing well because now you're conditioned to go, you know.
Sure, I'm definitely one of those people in the gym, like looking themselves in the mirror, like, yeah,
Girl, everybody do it.
like I feel good.
Especially once you start getting them results, you be like, is
You're looking at yourself all the time, like, damn,
that me?
that looks
Uh-huh. Yeah,
good. So
most definitely.
it's such a funny thing because you don't really think about it. Is that how just working out actually does affect your life and like your self-esteem,
Oh yeah.
confidence, on how you feel about yourself. So
Oh yeah, most definitely. You don't know it until you're doing it and you're in it, or if you're in a place in your life where you used to do it consistently and then you kind of fall off, you miss that feeling,
yeah, you
you
feel like
know?
you feel terrible because you know it's
Yeah,
the feeling you had about yourself before. Like if you had like a favorite pair of jeans and all of a sudden they're just too tight and you can't put them on, you honestly feel terrible about yourself. So
right. And then remember that feeling you get when you can finally fit back into them for the first time
yeah.
and got how long, right?
Hmm.
Um, it's the same thing in the bedroom. Like you remember when you used to be like about that life and you go, you know what I'm saying? Like you could do like shoot, if it's a good day, like 2 times, you know what I'm saying? Like back to back. And then you also know how it feels when you're not conditioned and you be like, bro, today, like you be planning. You be like, all right, I can't do that thing that I usually do with my leg because a bit I'm not there.
It hurts
It ain't, you know what I'm saying? Like
before
it's not happening today.
you gotta stretch.
Listen, you know, I'm just, and that's a part of working out. It's all a part of working out.
Oh God, next question. Which kind of goes into the same as one a little bit is, do you believe that couples who work out together, like, is it beneficial for the relationship?
Oh yeah, I mean, I have seen so many ends of the spectrum. I've seen couples that where one partner works out and the other doesn't. I've seen that be a strain on the relationship because now what's happening is you have two different mindsets taking place, right? Like one couple is like one partner is like focused, ready to go, let's get it. I want these results, whether it's for a wedding or whether it's just for, you know, health reasons. And then the other one, you know, is kind of like, I'm good. I'm not about to be doing all that. It takes a toll on the relationship because then the other partner doesn't feel supported. Then you start to have a little bit of like bitterness and resentment come in. You have a lot of problems that probably were already there start to kind of
Show it up.
resurface. Oh my gosh, yeah, and then like those some of the worst ways sometimes. I've had clients where the partner tries to actually discourage them from working out because it's like, well, I don't want you to start getting healthy and looking better and think you know you're too good for me almost. So then you start to see these self-worth issues, right?
Hmm.
And these self-esteem issues start to surface within a relationship. I think that's why people are always like, make sure you know your worth, right?
Hmm.
Before you get into a relationship, make sure you love yourself first before you get into a relationship because that can take it down a really dark path that's super unnecessary. But when both, right, when both people are on that journey, whether they're doing it together or on their own, I have couples where they've worked out together, like they go to their session together. So they do partner workouts together. And I know couples and I've worked with couples where like my husband is a trainer. And so we've had sessions where
I
we train.
forget.
Yes, it's motivated myself. That's my hubby. Thanks. I'm sorry, I be amped. But we've trained couples where we've trained the couple together, you know, so then it turns into like a double date, you know, at the gym, basically. But we've also trained couples where they're on different days at different times. And my husband is training the husband, and I'm training the wife. A lot of times, sometimes that's better because the husband will try to be telling the wife, "Oh, you're not working hard enough," or the wife will be insecure. She doesn't want to work out in front of her husband. So it's different for every couple dynamic. But when they're both are working towards getting results, and when they're both encouraging and supporting each other, and it doesn't become like this unhealthy competition, oh man, it's beautiful, because now they're both getting in this place where, all right, I'm starting to like how I look, and I'm starting to like how you look, and and it's
And
just
it
you
feels,
wind up,
you see your husband
yeah.
looking at him like, yeah, you know what's
She
about
be like, "Ooh, boy, you had that last year."
good, you
Okay.
look good, and
Yeah. And I mean, me and my husband were, we're both trainers, but I mean, shoot, we went through the relationship in love weight. We went through the after the wedding, in love weight. Now we went through baby weight together, and it's super important. Like, we still encourage each other. Like, we have 6-month old, infants at home, but it's very like, if I need to work out, he will take them. Like, that's my thing. And then, like, he loves to run. So it's like I'm holding him accountable, like, yo, you didn't go for your run this week. You need to go run. Like, yo, you didn't go to the gym this week. Like, I know you're working hard, you holding the house down, like, you need to go to the gym. So you start, you get that accountability of like making sure that they're doing something for themselves. And yeah, I mean, all of that ties into an emotional connection, which all helps in the bedroom.
yeah, yeah. I mean, that's just true. When I think about like my own personal life, but there's definitely sometimes that I need to be encouraged to do it because, working out is not my first love. Unlike some
Right.
people, but if I'm like, man, I don't feel like doing this today, and my husband would see me and he'd just be like, "Don't you got to go work out with Shonda? Or don't you got to go turn on like one of her videos and go work out? Like, I didn't see you do." And I'm like, okay, you're right. I need to get myself in shape and do what I have to
Right.
do. Sometimes you kind of need that kick to like push yourself forward. But I definitely agree that working out together is definitely like beneficial. You get to like,
Yeah.
see each other and doing different things, and it's encouraging, and it's also like a
Right.
level of like trust as well too, because you're talking to
Oh
somebody,
yeah.
know things that sometimes you feel uncomfortable talking about when it talks about your weight and feeling good about yourself,
Mhm.
and you're trusting yourself with your partner to talk about it, and then and they're encouraging as well. It makes you like, okay,
Right.
makes you feel good that you picked this awesome person. So
Right. It does. I just feel like when it comes to being healthy and like even just wanting to look a certain way, like and when you're tackling that and you're in a relationship at the same time, it definitely takes a level of vulnerability and trust in each other, but then that opens the door to intimacy. I think the more you can dive in deeper with your partner, um,
the
for
better.
vulnerability, yeah, it really does. It just translates in intimacy. It just does, because now there's the level of trust and the foundation that continues to get stronger and stronger every time that happens. Just makes sex that much better.
So I'm gonna piggyback and swap from working out together to eating healthy together as a couple, because that also make a difference. I
Oh yeah, I mean,
yeah,
yeah, man. I mean, same thing like I was talking about with, with working out, when one doesn't and one does, um, you want to be supportive of your partner, even if that ain't your thing. If your partner comes home and say, I want salmon and red potatoes and asparagus, even if you don't want to eat that, you know what I'm saying? Like, you go, all right, babe, you got that. I'm gonna eat XYZ. But there's a difference between doing that and then going like, I ain't trying to eat that. Why you trying to eat the salmon? All of that starts with walls, that starts defensiveness, that's
it's negative.
um
It's really negative. And
yeah,
no,
basically, and that's the supporting of your partner, whether you're doing it with them or not. Is just, I can't stress how important it is, but when you're doing it together, it doesn't have to always be the exact same meal. Like, I'm 5'2.5".
get your
I'm usually 145. After my boys, I'm now 175. My husband is 6'6", 280, 300 on a good day. Listen, like our plates are not gonna
Not
always. Now I'm not a girl can eat. That's why they fell in love with me in the first place. But our plates aren't gonna always look the same, you
yeah,
know. Um, but we support each other. You know, like he'll have days where he's like, "Yo, I'm going super clean today," and it ain't that kind of day for me, you know. But I support him in that, and I also don't um enable him either. You
yeah.
know, I make sure like he doesn't give up on himself. Like he says he's gonna eat healthy or super clean and he's gonna detox or something like that. And then the days going by and he's like, nah, you know, I think I'm gonna just go ahead. I'm like, nope, that's not what you said, sir. You're gonna eat, you know, it's out, but eat.
Hold
So
him.
even with, yeah, that accountability, even if it's annoying, you love it because it shows that they're just as invested in your health as possible. And again, it just translates to trust and accountability and vulnerability and intimacy. It's like an equation, you know. And then doing it together makes it fun because now you can find your new favorite place to get your healthy meal. You now got your favorite new spot that you like to go to, you know. It helps keep the relationship interesting too. So now you're not like always eating at the same place and all that stuff, you know?
No, I agree with you. I think what me and John have been trying to do is that, I probably eat healthier than he does, but
Yeah.
every so often we will look online for different new recipes and
Mm-hmm.
let him take the forefront and let him choose the recipe that he wants. Like, oh, this looks,
Right.
and then
Mm-hmm.
the directions, see if it's something that is possible for me to make because I can cook, but I'm not a chef. So let me just make sure this is within my ability to make it. And then, we'll try it. And if we like it, we keep it in like this little blue binder. And it's like different recipes that we found that we
Mm-hmm.
both enjoy. And then,
Yeah.
so if it's like for example, the last thing we tried, it was just like, works for me, doesn't work for him, so it didn't make the binder. But
Mm-hmm.
something that we both can enjoy, and it's interesting because we get to like change like our palate a little bit because we get to like
Right, right.
things that we probably wouldn't have thought of trying. So
Yeah.
I like that. So look tip.
Yeah, I mean, all of those little things. I think cooking together is also a really cool, dope, like date night, especially like we in a pandemic, so we can't
Right.
go nowhere. So, you know, so I think, you know, just cooking together helps a lot. I'm not gonna front and sit up here and act like I'm like this Susie homemaker. Anybody who knows me personally knows I am not about that life. Um, I love cleaning and stuff like that. Cooking a lot of time, like I have friends where cooking brings them peace. It's nostalgic for them. That's not my life. Like I grew up in a house where my dad did all the cooking, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was blessed enough to find a man that could throw down in the kitchen. But
Got
but I but little things I know, like when I do cook, I mean, it's not that I don't know how, I just don't enjoy it. But when I do cook, you know, my husband appreciates it. And so because I know it's something that he appreciates, I don't mind doing it.
mm-hmm.
And if it's healthy, I actually enjoy doing it because I know that it's beneficial for both of us and what our goals are, you know. And it just kind of, you know, it just that helps the friendship because I feel like relationships, it's all cute and butterflies are great, but it's especially, you know, especially as married women, I think I say I'm gonna write a book called what they don't put in the brochure, but it, you know, like it gets hard, you know, like it's not easy and it's definitely not for the
The
weak,
week at
you
heart.
know.
Yeah.
It is not for the weak at heart, honey. It's like you say I do, you know, a whole different dimension open up. I don't even, you know, no, I don't care how much work you do before. But doing things like that helps the friendship because you gotta like each other, you know.
Right. I
Um,
mean, cool, but if you don't like that person, you in for
Man, when it does get tough, Linda, listen, you know, that's what makes it so easy for I think others to walk away. But when you're invested in that person as a friend, they might your best friend. When y'all get into an argument, you don't quit your best friend. You be like, no,
no,
girl, because I love you and I said you gonna do it. You could be mad at me. You gonna like you will not let your best friend quit you.
no,
You
never.
know? Exactly. And so it's the same mindset with your partner. Nah, B, you ain't quitting me. You could be mad all you want. You're gonna eat this healthy meal though.
At least you.
And it's appreciated in the long run.
Oh, so next question. Are there exercises that men and for the ladies as well, what exercises that ladies should also do to have a better sex life?
Um, so I started to bring my husband on here too. But for the for men, uh I can't necessarily pick one specific one. For men, I definitely always say cardio because when men work out, they usually like to just focus on their upper body. They're always doing like chest and back and buys. Um, time though, they're starting to do legs now. Proud of you guys.
I was like,
Um,
little legs and
but
ooh.
doing more than just 10 minutes of cardio.
Yeah.
Actually getting in some good cardio, especially as men get older, you know, um, doing cardio to really make sure that it's helping with your stamina. For women specifically, same thing, get that cardio in, girl. Um, Definitely getting, for women specifically, cardio for stamina, doing glute bridges and pelvic tilts. Those actually help because that's literally what an orgasm is. It's like a pelvic tilt that's happening. So if you think about when you're doing glute bridges and stuff like that, you're actually building that muscle for a better orgasm. So that's something to also think about during your workout. Don't just be doing squats, girl. Put some glute bridges in there. And also for everybody, making sure you stretch, making sure you're staying like nice and loose and flexible. It helps, especially when people try to spice up things in the bedroom and they want to try different positions and stuff. It is so easy to try a new position and be like, that was cute after like 5 seconds, depending on the position. But if you're, I'm not saying don't be like this before sex, trying to warm up and stuff. But I'm just saying, if you work out on a regular and you're trying to stay, you stay limber, and you take care of yourself, and you stay healthy, that when it comes to having that healthy sex life, trying new things, trying new positions, bringing things into the bedroom, that your body's actually more conditioned to be able to enjoy it and not feel like what just happened.
So speaking of stretching, let's just say while working out, do you think it's best to stretch first or probably do a little warm up with cardio and then stretch? Should you stretch at the end? Both?
Mhm. Well, usually you before the workout, you want to do what's called a dynamic warm up. So basically, it's something to where you're stretching, but your body's still moving. So think of like a hard, just straight rubber band. If something was frozen, right? You kind of have to warm it up before
Mm-hmm.
it can actually move, right? You don't want to just take it here and then you stretch it, it'll crack, right? So stretches like doing torso twists is here. So I'm stretching my obliques, right? But
Mm-hmm.
I'm warming them up at the same time. You want to make sure you're warming up. So you don't want to just go into here and hold it and trying to go into a deep stretch. You actually want to get some movement into the stretch. And you'll feel your body warm up and you'll actually be able to go deeper into the stretch as the body warms up. Now, after you do a workout, you can get into what's called a static stretch. So that's when you do I'm going to hold this right here for 10 seconds,
Yeah.
Um, yeah, because your body's actually warm now to be able to let the muscles expand and stretch. And stretching is great for recovery, regardless.
So this is going to be probably the question that some people wouldn't want to ask, but I think is really
Mhm.
important. Can low sexual activity have the opposite effect on your health and relationship? Meaning that,
Okay, so you're saying, so if you don't have like a healthy sex life where it's like regular,
right? Because I mean, obviously, we are
right,
in a pandemic, which can cause depression in a lot of different people.
right.
With depression, you tend to have a lower sex drive. So
Yeah.
having that can actually like affect your mental.
Oh yeah, man. Sex is, yes, it's a physical act, but your mind has to be into it
Right.
as well. for you to actually enjoy it. You gotta be there, you
Right.
know. Um, I'm not, so I say that to say I'm not referring to those one of those quickies type of things.
Mm-hmm.
You ain't really gotta be there for a quickie, you know. Let's keep it 100, you know. But I'm talking about when you are in it, when your mind is there when you're in it, right? Because
Right.
you're even yeah, you're thinking about your partner, you're thinking about your sex, you just want it to be a great experience, you're in the experience, right? And so when that's not, and it just makes it stronger. You know, the endorphins that's released, the hormones, the oxytocin, that your body releases, that kind of, you know, people like, oh, you got that glow, or you perky today, you know, type of thing. It's those, you know, they call it the love hormone, right? It's the hormone that's released when you're having sex, or when you know, when you have an orgasm. Everybody's different, everybody's wired differently, you know. And so when that's not happening, and let's just say your body's used to that, it definitely can lead to you know, lower self-esteem, especially if you live with your partner, because now you might be in a space where you might think they don't find you as attractive, or you might actually be at home and you're gaining weight and you don't feel as attractive, and then you're not having as much sex, which then leads you down a rabbit hole of I'm not good enough, why don't they want me, I wouldn't want me, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you go down this whole, hey Rashonda, you go down this whole rabbit hole. And Rashonda, feel free to weigh in, girl. Jasmine too, and Raquel. You know, this whole rabbit hole of just not feeling good enough. And then let's say one morning you wake up and your partner does want to have sex. You're not even there, because now you went down that rabbit hole, and them just touching you just makes you like, I'm
It makes you
good, you know?
feel different. 'Cause I mean, obviously,
Yeah,
having like low sexual activity, people tend to only really think about it from like a physical standpoint. But I'm like, you should also
most
think
definitely.
emotionally and mentally. It can also affect you that way
Yeah.
or your partner. So
Yeah, and I think everybody's different. Like I'm definitely like a mindset person. When it comes to, I mean, of course I'm out here for the physical, but it's like I'm a mindset person. So I mean, I grew up reading a lot. So for me, imagination is like, you know, like, yeah, imagination. It could be the dancer in me too. But imagination is like a big, for me, it's the process. Like, I love anticipation. Like, you know, I love the actual
the bill.
process of being, yeah, the build up and getting to it, you know what I'm saying? And then being in it. Like, you can't just come at me and be like, first position. I'm like, nah, B,
Ah, Eddie.
what you want me to do with that? I can't do nothing with that. You know, and all of, to me, and I take things like that personally, because then it makes me feel like I'm not being enjoyed as a woman, or like as a queen. I'm convenient.
Yeah, I
You
go
know
in
what?
like I'm here, there
Yeah.
too.
So
Like
all of that goes into self-esteem, and you know how you start to feel about yourself. Even if you you know, you like, I'm good, I love myself, I'm straight, but how your partner feels about you is important to you. You
exactly.
know, and then all of that can trickle down into, well, I'm not gonna work out today, I'm not really in the mood. All right, maybe tomorrow, and then tomorrow's turned into a week turns into a month, and so on. You know, and so not having that regular connection and physical check-in, you know, with your partner, can definitely lead to those things, you know.
And I think the fact that you say check in, I think is like really important. I don't think you need to have like a specific like checklist of how do you feel today. Check that.
Right.
It's not like that, but just to check in within yourself, but also with your partner too. Because sometimes
Hmm.
I think that certain people that we have, they're wired to keep their mouth closed about certain way how they feel because they don't want to bother.
Oh yeah, man.
So I think it's really important just to be like, oh, how are you doing today? And not just the obvious, like, oh, I'm fine or whatever, but actually like sit there and talk to me just to make sure that, you're actually doing all right. And I think that's important
Right.
in any relationship. Because
Oh yeah.
if you don't do that first part of the work, by the time it actually gets to like us, trying to be sexual with somebody, just like,
Oh my gosh. You got so much built up in that you haven't even talked about. You ain't even trying to do nothing.
Yeah.
Like,
But you're
yeah.
going through the motions, but you're not really feeling what you're going through. So,
And I think when that happens, the friendship is starting to deteriorate.
mm,
When you don't have that open line of communication. And again, like you said, it doesn't have to be, how are you feeling today? I just wanted to make sure you're okay. Like, it don't have to be that. Like, when you know your partner, you know their body language, you know when like something ain't right. And then you have to have that, I call it protocol.
mhm.
It's the Navy bred in me, but I call it a protocol to communicate, right? Like, I'm the type of person, if something's wrong, I want to sit down, I want to address it, and I want to come up with a solution because I'm trying to be done. And I don't like confrontation, right? Whereas like my husband's different. He's like, he needs to marinate, he needs a moment. And then because he's I mean, I admire him for this. He really thinks before he speaks. And so he and then we can come and we can sit down. And sometimes he'll even take a moment and he's like, you know what, babe, it ain't even that deep. This is what I was feeling, but then when I took a moment, I realized it's not that deep, so don't even trip. You know what I'm saying? And so it's important to know what your partner's process is when it comes to taking in conflict, so that that communication can be there. Not just conflict, but how do they go about their day? Like, is your partner an introvert? Are they an extrovert? Because that's gonna help you realize, how do you check in.
Right.
you know because an introvert be like, I don't want to talk about my day, it was a day. Like, if I want to talk about it, I'll talk about it. Whereas an extrovert wants to sit down and tell you about their whole day and then some.
Which
But
is
as an extrovert,
better in our
yeah,
work.
but if my husband's an introvert, so I have to, like, I gotta reel it in sometimes. He's like, dang, man, that's a lot. Like, an introvert can also be overwhelmed, by like how much an extrovert just dumps on them.
Right.
And also, an introvert has to know that their partner's an extrovert, so they can also take it personal that they're not sharing things with them or talking to them, because then it's like, well, maybe, because then you go, okay, well, maybe you don't. And Nina's watching. Nina can attest. We talk about this. Nina, love you, girl. We, it's just knowing that balance,
Well,
right? If
you know,
if you're
it's
when
something,
you have that yin and yang.
because I mean, while me and my husband have been together for years, this is still year one of marriage, and it's
Yeah, man, y'all some
getting
OGs.
married
Y'all like,
kind of sort of changed a wee bit. And I have to admit, like myself, I'm very, very touchy feely, and I really love to always just be, oh my god, I love you. No, no, I'm always that. And
yeah,
John is not that person. He just like,
right.
girl, get off me, please. Like, let's stop.
Same, same,
And
same.
I
Yeah.
learned to not take that personally, because it's not that he doesn't
No, we had a moment. I was like, bro, who is she?
that person.
And that's just, I mean, and a lot of times that goes back to, just how they are, how they were raised, what they value, and their love language.
Exactly.
Affection, like physical touch, just isn't his love language.
Exactly.
So, Rashonda, I'm John. Yeah, like, it's just, like, that's just not. Mike's the same way. Like, and I used to be like, what's her name? Because you sure not. And he like, girl, calm down. And I also don't want him to feel like he needs to be something that he's not in order to
Right.
satisfy me. And so it's definitely like learning that love language, and when it's not yours, don't take it personally. That's why
Right.
there's more than one love language, because everybody receives and gives love
Different.
differently.
And that kind of
Hmm.
rolls everything all the way back to acceptance. You have to accept people how they are. Because
And
if
it's also vulnerability. Like, you have to accept and live in that vulnerable space of like, this is my partner. Like, and you have to really, acceptance, Tasha, is such a, I think it's an underrated word. Like, acceptance is a big part of just being in a relationship, right? I
yeah,
ain't saying nothing, no BS, y'all. I'm
not
talking about accepting the core integrity of who your
over.
partner
Yeah,
is. Because
yeah,
you learn, because as you go deeper into it, you learn, right? you learn more and more. You're never fin. I've talked to couples that have been married for 40, 50 years. They like, you never learn everything about your partner because they're always growing anyway. But when you know the essence of who they are, their character, their integrity, their principles, their priorities, yeah, Nina, exactly. You build your story while learning each other. Yes. Exactly. Just like what Nina said, like when you're in that, it leads to, just like what Nina said, that leads to the vulnerability. The vulnerability is connected to the intimacy. When you are not on the same page and you don't have trust, or your feelings hurt that day, you will not be there in the bedroom. You just won't. You might just be like, all right, because you don't want him, you don't want no further problems.
Not there. Like you just,
yeah, but you're not there. You're not there. Your mind is, you got a script for how you about to get through the next portion of the of the hour, and then and no one wants that. Ain't nobody trying to live like that, so it's that communication has to be there, but it takes trust and openness to bring that to your partner. I mean, I'm totally guilty of just holding things in. And I mean, I was built, I mean, my dad died our junior year in high school. Yeah, like when I was 15. And I mean, my grieving process, I have the weirdest, I mean, to me, it's not what people would think. Like I found out my dad died at 6 a.m. and I marched Bacchus. Like that day I was at 30, I went and got my hair done and was at 35 that afternoon and marched Bacchus. I wasn't my usual cheery self, but I didn't stay home with my mom, you know what I'm saying? And wait for people to come over, and I occupied my mind, and that started me down a spiral of, when things got hard, I threw myself into work, and I took that into my relationships. I just did. I took that into my relationships and my parents had such a loving marriage. I never saw them argue. They just loved each other all the damn time, all the time. They were always happy. They always loved each other. I'm sure they had their ish, but they married older, so they were at a whole different place maturity wise. And so for me, already holding how I feel in, never told any partner of mine in the past if they made me mad, if I was sad, if I was aggravated. I just felt like if I wasn't always happy, what I saw, then I was out. Period. If we argued, I went to the direct assumption that it was over. And so I responded, having a vulnerable moment, right? I responded the same way in my sexual life too.
right.
So if I was with you and the sex wasn't good that time around, well,
still dust the trail.
It's been real, and that became I didn't realize the pattern I was forming at the time. But it was a pattern until I met my husband. He caught it, and that's that gift of being with an introvert, right? Because they're super observant. He caught it. The first time he caught it, I was like, all right, well, look, I don't really think I'm for you. And so I'm going to go over here. And my husband was like, girl, this is normal. This is what a relationship is. And you going to sit here and we going to talk about it. I don't care if you got to text it to me in my face. And we going to figure it out. And I was like, okay. But he did the work with me. You know what I'm saying?
That's the word though. Work, relationships.
Yeah, it's work, man. He did the work with me. And so that put me in a space to be vulnerable about things that I've never shared with people, that I've never been vulnerable before, which then in turn made the sex great.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, because you want yourself to be free and not worry about
right.
And when you're in that,
there's no judgment. Yeah, it's no
judgment. And
sex is great when your partner appreciates the essence of who you are, and you don't feel like you have to all of a sudden turn into a fantasy. You can just be you.
Right.
I'm not saying ain't nothing wrong with role play, but I'm just saying in general. You know what I'm saying? When you can just be you and your partner is attracted to the essence of you, um, that I think that puts you on a whole different like playing field for sure.
Yeah. But thank you, first of all, for being so open and so vulnerable about your own like personal experience.
Yeah, girl. You
Again,
know,
don't
we
talk.
do it for the culture.
Gotta do it for the culture.
We
But
gotta do it for the culture.
it's appreciated. So just in case, thank you for being so open and allowing us to know a little bit more about Shonda Domingo Brown. So thank
Yeah, because only for you, Tasha, because I post smiling pictures, girl, but I don't be talking. I don't I don't get camera, girl. But no, like I think it's important, to share that, especially like my homegirl Nina, who I love so much. When you have your village and your community, and you realize you're not alone. So hopefully, I just hope that this helps somebody realize like they're not alone, and like you're not crazy. Like it's normal. All of these things are normal. But you can get through it. Like you can work out and have a healthy relationship. You know what I'm saying? And yes, it is connected.
Oh,
You know,
absolutely.
yeah,
I mean,
it's all connected.
like I used to always tell you, like especially before like this whole COVID situation, like having that hour to like work out was like that moment for me to just connect to myself. You know,
Right, right. Man, that self love part is, ooh,
to put to the side for just a little bit and just take
yeah.
care of yourself, because you can't take care of anybody else if you don't take care of yourself. Like you just can't. You need
Yo,
like
I'm learning that as a new mom. That's real. Like that is so real because now it's like wife and mom, and I'm still just Shonda. You know what I'm saying? So it's like I have great accountability partners like Nina, that's on like those people that's like, yo, what are you doing for you this week? And my husband's, oh my God, he's like, yo, like you need to go get a massage or something this week. Like, you know what I'm saying? Because when you do that thing for yourself and you check in with you, then you can be present as the other roles and the other hats, that you wear, in your life. But if you not good, you're gonna feel so frazzled. And that's how resentment and bitterness and all, you start snapping on people, you're not present, you really just don't care no more.
mm,
That's all those feelings start to just, you know,
build
start
up.
to just, yeah, they just start to build up. And you gotta be careful with that, man. I'm real big because like my sons, I'm the first example of femininity that they will see in their lives, of what a woman is, of how a woman responds to
Mm-hmm.
conflict. How does she respond to life? How does she carry herself? How does she hold down the house? How does she hold down her man?
Mm-hmm.
I'm their first encounter, with that. I don't take that responsibility lightly, so I have to take care of myself, um, in order for them to see and know what a healthy version of that looks like. Like I'm responsible for what they bring home when they like grown. High school don't count. They
You
still
know,
unit.
you do what you do in high school. That's a different
Yeah,
situation.
yeah, yeah. No, after 25, I'm responsible for her. Whoever come home after that.
God, I watch over them because you are such a mama bear. Ooh, it's gonna be,
Oh yeah, they gonna know you want to date my son, honey. You gotta meet me at the gym. Hey, you can find out a lot about a person by how they work out. I'm just saying.
that's. I've seen some interesting people at the gym and how they do.
Hey, you be there with me. I be looking at you like, see that?
You see this right?
Watch this. Yep. See, I'm telling you. Telling you is one of the best ways to get to know a person.
No lies are told in that statement.
I'm not saying do it. Everybody like the gym, girl, but you know what I mean.
You actually can. I see what you're coming. Let's see what you're coming with there. But thank you for sitting down and having this chat with me.
Yeah, man. Anytime.
Yeah,
Easy peasy.
we might have to do this again because I
I'm
think
here for it.
I
Spin
think
off. I'm
it's
just
important
kidding.
for people to like understand like the fitness and wellness part of life. And to be honest, I think it connects to different parts of people's lives, whether it's like mentally, even
Hmm.
spiritually, emotionally, like
Oh yeah.
all of those things. Like I think all of those things are connected. And it starts off by taking care of your body and taking care of self. So
Hmm.
be
Oh
one
yeah, man. Most definitely.
of these things.
Yeah, girl. You know where to find me and how to find me, man. It's all love. Anything for you, Tosh.
Shit. Thanks. Make me.
Yeah, girl.
Thank you for joining us, but we're gonna say goodbye. So bye for
Yeah,
now.
thank you guys for watching and letting us, like, just being in our conversation. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you so much, y'all. Bye for now.